Yeah, you guys have all been poo-pooing, Mark Zuckerberg, who is an innovator who's worth more than you are. So, I mean, more successful than you are.
Checkmate, beta.
And people have, exactly, all you betas who earn less than Mark Zuckerberg and alpha. And, he's been doing this meta stuff. And, I don't know, does anybody in this chat own VR goggles?
No, because I choose to spend my money more productively on like sports betting and clothes I don't need.
I love how Facebook when they started to decide to hunker down and go all in on VR, they decided to up the price of their VR goggles $100 without adding anything new. Like the absolute reverse of what most of these platforms do, like Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft. As the system gets older, they lower the price to bring more people on board. Facebook and all their genius was like, we're going to up the price $100 for no apparent reason.
I personally don't see the value in VR. I mean, I wear glasses, so that automatically makes me feel like I'm going to get motion sick. And, half the VR games are not really so much games as they are pranks you play on people that they'll, record for, YouTube or America's Funniest Home Videos. Like, hey, grandma, put on this like helmet that will eventually have like a zombie come out and scare you and give you a heart attack. I prefer just having a large television.
Right. Well, anyway, I prefer that as well, because have you ever been in one of those rides where it's all like the screen around you? I like that. That's nauseating a little bit, but that's not really the purpose of what Meta is. The purpose of Meta is for Mark Zuckerberg to create an infrastructure that like a new system that he's able to live in, right? And it's like his legacy. It's his mind, and this is like the kind of stuff that you see.
It's literally like what do they call it? Castle in the clouds or whatever. Like, it's basically what he's created. Oh, but they got some new features. So guys, check out Biggie Smalls is back.
Oh God,
does he have legs? Come on.
Why is he so tiny looking?
Wow.
This is disgusting.
What?
He's back.
I think
it's pretty gross. Yeah.
It's one thing when it's Tupac, but when it's Biggie, that's a step too. That's when we've gone too far.
You hologrammed one of them.
Tupac at Coachella is one thing, but if you're gonna Biggie on Meta, like, come on.
I mean, what's next, right? Are we just gonna like take people's like fossilized corpses and just like play marionette with them? Dance for us, dead person, dance.
Did they show how he's actually going to look, though? Because I got to say, that reeked of, like, video game cutscene footage.
Yeah, it did.
It's like when they put, like, A$AP Rocky in a video game, and it's just, like, come play Need for Speed with A$AP. And you're like, okay. But it's, like, a really shitty, like, rendering of him.
Yeah. Travis Scott on Fortnite.
I mean, why do I need to see an animated version of somebody sing songs that I could play on Spotify?
Where there's music videos and concert footage and stuff like that.
Right. Like where you get a more authentic experience. Like I'm assuming that they're just going to play the track, right? That's what it's got to be.
It just seems like the main problem with the metaverse as it exists is that like all of the cool things you could do with VR are being, like put to the side in service of like things that you can sell people that kind of have VR like lazily engaged with them, like how 3D was when they first came out in like movies in the early 2000s. And, I think that it's kind of like people should look into like companies like Facebook and I guess Meta, Instagram, just like generally social media companies and how they like take data analytics and use them against you or whatever. But I personally think this is just like a sign that these companies have gotten too big. They just don't know where to go. Like social media as it exists, maybe because of the way ad revenue has like, dried up or because ads don't work the way they used to. It's just maybe not as profitable as it used to. So they just keep grasping at these straws like Google Glass and Metaverse and Twitter has Elon Musk doing new stuff now. It's just maybe you just need to be like a site that collects people's information and shows them ads and like doesn't become like a whole like I don't know ecosystem. Like it's just
well they have to sell this to investors. Like that's the problem because they're publicly traded, so they need to constantly be growing. And then you have like a megalomaniac at the head of the company who wants this to be wants to create a prism of his own mind and sell that to people in a form that's profitable for his company. I mean, he's shit out of luck because right now they're undergoing layoffs, and we're about to, in my opinion, like with what's happening with Twitter and with Meta, it's gonna be a rude awakening for tech and like the investor class with what's happening with them right now. But yeah.
I mean, I definitely don't want to see what's like in Mark Zuckerberg's mind. It's probably just like boring, but still like really troubling. Unlike the, you know, like the exact opposite of the movie The Cell when Jennifer Lopez goes inside serial killer's mind. It would be nothing as interesting as a horse being like dissected in front of you. It would just be like a really like upsetting open concept office.
Yeah, right. Bean bags everywhere, but there's just like everyone is like doesn't feel anything in that universe. Beanbag chairs everywhere. Oh,
Man down.
Was that a beanbag ripping open and all the beans?
Yeah.
I tried to catch it with my arm and I just spiked it on the ground.
Bradley dropped his phone. You know. Anyway.
Is it okay?
Oh, it's all good. It's all good.
I think just a lot, you know, a lot of our tech companies are just like overinflated value, you know, Tesla being the main example of that. But like, you know, we're still in that age where like everyone is really impressed by tech and looking to make the next like, you know, Alibaba deal. So getting bigger and bigger is like the name of the game. But, you know, eventually people, I think social media has peaked basically. Like it's just people have turned against it in, I think, a more coherent way where like, you know, back when we were in high school, like, oh, don't spend all time on social media. But people did it. Now people are like, no, seriously, don't spend all your time on social media. Like, you know, it might kill you.
Yeah, right. Steely Danarchy. Facebook took a huge hit when Apple put Ask App Not to Track on phones. That is a good point. That is a good point.
What was it?
The feature on I have it on my iPhone. You can put Ask App Not to Track like your data, and that actually. That's a very good point.
Should point out they Ask App Not to Track, as in the company whose app you're using cannot track you, which cost these companies billions of dollars, by the way. Facebook had a huge drop in revenue when Apple instituted that.
I didn't realize that. Yeah.
Yeah. However, I should add, though, that Apple still tracking you, still sending your details to themselves when you use their apps.
Yeah, you know, you don't want to give your competitor an advantage, but yeah, it's important to acknowledge that because I think a lot of things about social media don't make sense when you think of it as a platform whose primary, you know, purpose is to facilitate communication with you and your friends or you and your fans. But when you realize like, no, it's a data analytics and data collection system that, you know, people could say is complex and efficient, but certainly it's, you know, deleterious to your mental health. But, you know, it looks like, you know, it's on the way out. Twitter's in a free fall. Twitter 2.0 might rise from the ashes.
But that's what Elon Musk is calling it, actually, though. Twitter 2.0.
Yeah.
All right.
Twitter hasn't been this good in years. It hasn't been this interesting since, I wouldn't say, 2017.
Hey, this video is sponsored by Established Titles. What is Established Titles? It is a fun novelty gift that also helps you preserve some natural woodlands. It's a project based on historic Scottish custom where landowners are referred to as lairds or lords and ladies in English. Title packs give you at least 1 square foot of dedicated land with a unique plot number. So what happens is they plant a tree with every order. They work with global charities, One Tree Planted and Trees for the Future, to support global reforestation efforts. And you get one of these certificates. I'm a lord. I'm also a lady, too. I can be both. There's no reason I can't be. The first 200 people purchasing a title pack using my link will effectively be next to our plot. If you want to become a lord and lady, we can create our own Majority Report kingdom. So check it out. You can also, on official documents where they use a prefix, you can call yourself lord or lady. It makes an amazing last-minute gift. Established Titles is actually running a massive Black Friday sale right now. Plus, if you use the code MAJORITY, you get an additional 10% off. Go to establishedtitles.com/majority to get your gifts now and help support the channel.